From This Corner with John Ball is brought to you by KNEO 91.7 FM, The Word.
Welcome to From This Corner. I'm John Ball, and I really hope you're having a great day. The month of September is almost gone, and we're going to see winter coming our way in just a little bit. But with the wrap-up of the month of September, a lot of different things have gone on. September seems to be the Cancer Awareness Month for just about everything. And I've got Cathy Cooley here. She and her husband Tim founded the Christopher Foundation, which is a 501c3, and you just do a whole lot of different things in the Osho. Tell us a little bit about the Christopher Foundation, maybe the history and some of the things that you all do.
Okay. We started the Christopher Foundation to help kids with cancer and their families because we had a son who went through cancer, Christopher, who the foundation is named after, and we saw some areas where we thought maybe we could help make a difference for the families. So we do a lot of different things. This month being Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, the Neosho High School is always very good to support us, and we get to have a football game on Friday nights where we recognize childhood cancer and bring awareness to that. And we usually, unfortunately, always have a child in Neosho that's battling cancer at the time. So we were able to recognize this year his name was Jaden, and that gives them a sense of they get to feel the support and the love of the community and know that they're not fighting alone.
Well, you know, one of the things, being a blood cancer patient myself, one of the things that I've seen, and I've been at this for like 19 years now, is that doctors are really, really great. And I suggest people get to a research facility. Not that local oncologists aren't really good, they are, but a research facility sees so many different patients basically from all over the world. If something happens, they've seen it and they know what to do. But sometimes they just don't talk about the common sense things, like if you're a cancer patient, you need to go to this place. Now be sure you understand that you're going to be sitting for a little while waiting for things to happen, and things are not going to happen immediately. There's a world of people out there that can help you if you're not feeling real good, and you can say, well, it's because of this or this. One of the things that for sure is, if you have a port in, wear a shirt that buttons all the way down the front, not a shirt like I've got on. Simple things.
Right.
Easy things. Food that you may not necessarily be looking for to eat because it just doesn't taste good, but boy, this works out real well. So what have you seen like that?
That's very true, especially in the food. When someone's going through treatments or different radiation or chemo, either one, some things just don't taste good. So you have to find that thing that they are able to eat, and that's what you'll have to buy. And then they may eventually not be able to eat that and have to find something else. And it is harder to find, especially with children in our local area. You do have to travel. You have to go somewhere other than our local area for treatments. A lot of them go Kansas City, Memphis for St. Jude's, there's St. Louis, Tulsa, but nothing in our immediate area. So there's a lot of challenges that our families are faced with.
I'm very fortunate because I go down to the University of Arkansas for medical science in Little Rock, and it's about a 4-hour trip to get down there and back. But hey, and speaking of that, you got to have a way to get down there, and a caregiver plays a vital, vital role, don't they?
They do, and it takes, with a child, obviously they're not going to be able to go alone, so they have to have a parent, and that parent may have to quit their job depending on how much they're having to travel back and forth. They may no longer be able to work or have to take a lot of family leave or take off work to take care of their child, even when they're back home, because that child is going to be sick. If they're getting chemo, they're going to be sick when they're back home.
So many times when I was dealing with my cancer, even this last bout that I went through, it was almost like I was a leper. And people don't mean to be unkind. That's not it at all. They're just not real comfortable with what's going on. And my wife and I used to say, well, people up here just don't talk that cancer talk that other cancer patients talk.
That's right. And you feel very isolated when you're home. And it isn't because they, like you said, they don't mean it, but they don't know what to say. They don't want to say the wrong thing, or they're afraid of bringing you something. They don't want to accidentally bring you an infection that they didn't know maybe they were carrying, or so people do kind of steer clear and treat you like you're on your own.
Well, one of the things I've found out is that if people want to show their support, they want random acts of kindness, whether it's bringing you food or whatever, as a general rule, go ahead and do that. If a cancer patient's concerned about that, they'll tell you to stop.
That's true. And you don't have to go in the house to do things like that. You can drop something on the porch, or, if you want to give them some love and support in the way of food, you can do that pretty easy.
Well, what I've seen is there's several different phases that you go through. Phases I went through was from the time I was actually diagnosed. I had this idea in my mind, well, let's see, I can probably take 6 aspirin a day for the next 6 weeks and this thing's going to be gone. And that doesn't happen. It really does not. Then the next thing is I come to the realization this is real and we better start thinking about what we can do. I tell people, stay off the internet. The internet is one of those things that all you see are the bad things. Mm-hmm. And there's some really good things. There's some great people, no matter what facility that you go to, and they're there because they feel like it's their calling to help you.
Absolutely.
Next thing I tell people is grab a hold of your faith. Hang on to it. There is an almighty God who is the great physician, and he'll see you through that. Man, I've seen so many different times that a person just sitting in kind of a chemo waiting room, my wife and I would look at people that are coming in, and you could tell by the look on their face. They don't know why they've got what they've got. They're blaming it on somebody else. They don't know where they're going from here. Why did I get chosen for this? What did I do wrong? Mm-hmm. Your faith is vitally important during that time. Don't you agree?
Oh, it's crucial. I definitely believe that. We were not believers when Christopher was first diagnosed, and the difference when Jesus came into our life was huge because we had him to lean on. We weren't trying to do it on our own. We were no longer relying on ourselves. We had not just Jesus, but a church family that was so supportive and loving. And I think that's important for people of faith. If you're going through something, let your church family know and let them help because they want to.
Most doctors will say, if you're a cancer patient, if you can go through it with a good attitude, and I mean a good attitude, laughter is the greatest medicine in the world.
Oh, yes.
So there are a lot of oncologists that have written books, or joke books, in fact, to give people because it's so vitally important. And that good attitude is contagious. You never know when you're going to have an opportunity to see someone else who's in the same situation you're in, and it's contagious.
Absolutely. And the positive is so much better than being down all the time, and the hope. This, a couple weeks ago, Doug Hetty, I'm sure everyone knows about Christian Hetty, the little boy with cancer. They had their first event for pediatric childhood cancer awareness. And there was a mother there working in a booth next to us who said, I'm not sure why. I just knew I needed to be here to work. She has a child with cancer, and she was helping with the camp quality booth. And a little bit later, a young lady in a wheelchair came, a teenager. And after she moved away from my booth, her mother told me that she had a brain tumor. And her mother went to the next booth, and those two moms, she ministered to that mom not knowing, because her son also had a brain tumor, and now this mom's daughter has a brain tumor. And they were sharing, and she was giving her so much hope because the doctors had told her there was nothing else they could do. But this mom said, look, they told us that too, and that was, this many years ago, and he's still here with us today. So Jesus can give hope through believers to other families just by sharing and being there.
You really, really can, can't he? And our desire when we go back down to Little Rock, and it never fails, we get to go up to someone who's got that deer in the headlights look, that is just starting the process, and we can kind of share with them a little bit about, hey, this is just a bump in the road. That's all it is, and we want to do what we can to help you get through that. And from hearing from another cancer patient what they've gone through and realize that they're still there makes a world of difference, doesn't it?
It does. It helps to hear.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's talk about the Christopher Foundation. You all are very, very active. Let's talk about some of the things that you do.
Okay. We have, in our local area, we've got some scholarships at Crowder College and Missouri Southern. They're for families who've had a child with cancer, but it's not just for the cancer patient. Sometimes the parents want to go back to school and become a nurse or go back to school for something, or any of the siblings in the household of that child. That scholarship is available for them because, as we know, cancer devastates your finances. It just does. And in the families with, well, most anyone, you have to travel. And it's so, everybody says, well, you have insurance, it covers that. Insurance covers your medical, but it doesn't cover all those travel expenses and all those meals you have to eat while you're away. And, so that it's just financially a burden for the family. So we established the scholarships to help relieve some of that college burden, because you probably spent what you would have saved for the child's college or the siblings' college, and so we hope to help out in that way. We also do Thanksgiving dinner every year for Children's Mercy Hospital. We prepare a meal, and thanks to COVID, we're no longer able to go up there and cook that meal anymore, but the hospital has allowed us to find someone to cater that meal and bring it in to them, so they still get turkey and mashed potatoes and stuffing and all the normal Thanksgiving things. They get a nice hot meal for Thanksgiving.
Okay. You also put on a gospel sing, don't you?
We do. That's our only fundraiser that we do every year to make money to do all those things for everyone. So in February of every year, we have a gospel sing. We have chili and hot dogs and a silent auction and a live auction, and raise money to support the Christopher Foundation.
Okay. Now, if somebody were to say, boy, this is really kind of my deal, I need to maybe help financially, I maybe need to volunteer for the Christopher Foundation, how do they get in contact with you?
We have a P.O. box. They can send stuff to the P.O. box, or they can contact us on Facebook. They can find Christopher Foundation on Facebook, and then they can always email or call me.
Okay. And hey, if you can't get a hold of Cathy, call me. I can normally get a hold of her pretty easily.
Yes, for sure.
But when all's said and done, cancer is a bad deal.
It is.
It really is, no matter who you are or where you are, because cancer is no respecter of persons.
It doesn't care who you are. It's going to affect you.
But there are people in the Neosho area who are here to support you, people that are here to help you, people are here to kind of make that journey with you along the way, and makes a huge difference, because when I was living in Little Rock for 18 months out of a 2-year period, just to be able to contact people back home and know that they were supporting me, they were praying for me, it makes a world of difference, doesn't it?
It absolutely does, to know they're behind you.
Cathy, thank you so much for being here. I know what you and your husband Tim do, and it is just phenomenal, and there are a lot of people that owe you because of your support for them. So thank you so very much.
Thank you.
From This Corner with John Ball has been brought to you by KNEO 91.7 FM, The Word. You can watch this episode and many previous episodes of From This Corner on our YouTube channel, linked to our website at www.kneo.org.